Welcome to the Beacon by Soul 33, teachings for your past, present and future. Good morning, everybody. It is January 15th here in Auckland, New Zealand, and another edition of a Monday Mantra. We are in the middle of January now, so we've got a lot to think about to progress ourselves and to have the best year that we possibly can. Now remember, if you're listening to this on the Beacon app, please don't forget to tag, share, let people know that you're listening, that you're meditating, pulling cards, entering information into the moon phase calendar. Whatever you're doing, tag me, let people know. If you're on Spotify listening to this or on YouTube, please don't forget to like, subscribe, share. The more that you let people know that this platform exists, the better equipped I will be to be able to provide you with more resources. And it's my commitment. Like, I'm not feeling very well today, but I'm here to ensure that you all have your soul progression lesson and spiritual support, which then has impact on every area of your life. So that is the one thing that you can do for me, is letting people know that this platform exists. You're always going to get the real me on here, whether I'm sick or wherever I am. This is just who I am. So it's what's going to be. You're going to hear me clearing my throat throughout this whole lesson, because that's just what's happening for me. So how are you all? I had a huge, and am continuing to do so, spiritual shift, physical shift, every mental shift over the last week. I mentioned in last week's Monday Mantra that I was going to see my homeopath and that had been booked in ages ago, because whatever has been off kilter with me, we're trying to bring that back into balance. And this is how I'm setting up the recap of last week's Monday Mantra, which is: I move with nature and joy is my vibration. I move with nature and joy is my vibration. And I really had to just move with nature. So I felt great Monday. I went to see my homeopath. I took the remedy she gave me. And then on Tuesday onwards, I had headaches that felt like my head was in a vice. I was having hot and cold chills. I was having all kinds of things come up, to the point where I was looking in the mirror going, I don't know who I am. I don't know who this person is now. And I know this is all part of the collective reconfiguration of identity, but I felt that as an individual, because this is what I needed to go through in order for me to come back into balance. So we were asked to move with nature. And so this means that I had to just go with it. My routine was all completely out because I was needing to rest. We even had some interesting from Kieran, things that have been scheduled in for so long all turned up in the air. And I really just had to honor the cycle. It was like a part of me is dying and has died. And it was horrid. Like, there was crying, there was all kinds of things. And it's very, very hot here in Auckland, New Zealand at the moment. And so I was going through chills, all kinds of things, but I'm on the tail end of this now. But the week was all about cycles. Nature expressing itself unobscured without any filters. And these filters that I've had were all being shoved out the window in order for me to come back into the balance of who I am now, to carry me forward into the next stage of my life and what I'm wanting and what I'm here to do on earth. So I had to just take what was showing up and naturally unfolding, because I couldn't control it. I had to go with nature. I had to look from a higher perspective, because I was going through things, but also my mum was having things going on for her too. And so I knew it was a lot of mother wound things, ancestral feminine energy that was all being shifted. So whatever had been off kilter is coming back into the center. Nature knows how to bring everything back, including putting karma in balance. So the reason why I give you examples of my life is because Spirit gives me lessons, because that's how I learn to teach you. So I had a massive off-kilter sway back, and I'm still kind of like this, trying to get back into the center. What happened for you? So, how did you let nature take its course? Now, because I was in bed, I was doing a lot of mini readings, and I noticed that the mini readings that were coming through last week were people not going with nature, people that were fearful, people that were trying to control, people that were desperate. And this is not criticism, this is just observation, because my job is to observe. And so this is where I found it like, have you listened to the Monday mantra? Because that's the reminder that you need, like, hang on, if I'm off balance in the fear part of things, how am I meant to get to the outcome? Because fear pushes everything out of divine timing, timelines, the timelines that we want to create. And this is where we're coming back into the balance of things because nature knows how to bring things into balance. It's like our body knows how, provided we fuel it with the right things and we sleep and we rest and we drink water. It was funny also talking about water. So we decided to buy a water distiller, and that arrived last week. And this had been discussed for a long time. And I placed the order before Christmas, but it didn't arrive till Monday, actually. And so the quality of my water suddenly changed too. And that's because my insides were changing to come back into this new balance. So please, if you're hearing this, just check the quality of water. No one's asking you to go and purchase equipment or anything. You can even buy those charcoal filters very inexpensively and put them in a bottle of water to purify your water for you. But Spirit's telling me to remind you about this too, in terms of purifying your water, which is going to help you come back to the natural balance of things because of the connection that we have with how much water there is on earth in comparison to how much there is in our body. That's this connection coming back to nature. Revisiting some nice memories and taking an innocent, joyful approach to how you express yourself. Okay, because I was unwell, I was feeling a bit sorry for myself. Like I was saying to my brother-in-law, I feel like I need someone to just pat me like a little cat or a little dog. But I really had to think about this because I noticed that with the memories that were coming up for me, because I was telling Kieran, because I spend so much time working with people are always messaging, there's always these things. I'm not complaining, I'm just saying I sometimes have to park myself. And because the sickness had brought everything out, because that's what the remedy was meant to do. And my homeopath was like, I'm so sorry that you have to go through all of this, but she said it's better out than in. It really made me go back to what memories are coming up. And I actually had to spend some time looking at old memories because they were coming up from the old suppressed parts of me. And I had to look at them from a different perspective to make them nice memories. Like I have horrible memories of between the age of 15 and 18. I was doing correspondence school. I didn't have any friends at the time because I was overseas with my family. And for me as a teenager, it was terrible memories. But I had to turn that around because what that did do to me, I was still stuck in that, the way that a 15 to 18-year-old would think about it. Oh, I had no friends, poor me. Oh, I was on my own. But really, 41-year-old Gaia, with the wisdom that I have now, had to go, hang on, I got to spend that time with my parents. I got to spend that time with my sister. I really learned what it meant to be on my own and find my own source of joy and entertainment at that time because I didn't have any other opportunities. And I was thinking, actually, there were so many nice memories in that time. I just chose to see them through the eyes of a teenage victim. And so the joyful approach to how I was expressing myself was in the communication of how I was looking at those memories. And also, we had some big family things going on, and that was triggering a whole lot of energy within us as a family, I'm looking at myself as this, and I'm feeling like as I'm talking, I'm healing myself while I'm healing you, and I'm starting to look more like myself again. Those of you who are sensitive watching the screen, I think you'll understand what I mean, okay? So it's like the shape shifting. Okay, because I've said that, if you're hearing this, whenever you're hearing this during the week, can you please go and do the shape shift meditation also? Whew, sorry, lots coming up today. So, how did memories come up for you? Really think carefully. How are you talking about things? Because you still have the opportunity to look at it from a different perspective. And if you've been trying to be seen or to fit in, be who you wish to be, as long as it's coming from a place of love, even for love of yourself, to honor your boundaries. People will see the authority you have by how rooted you are in your natural self. So this is what I was noticing last week, when I said I was looking in the mirror, but I'm starting to recognize myself more watching myself in the camera. I didn't recognize myself. I was like, something is shifting. I'm changing. I had a lot of spiritual activity because I'm just going to be, I'm always 100% myself. There was a lot of alien activity. Now, I don't know anything about aliens. I just know when I feel them, I know when I see them, and I know when they're around experimenting with me, not in a bad way. I think because of my uniqueness, they like to take samples from me to test, because I was going through I always notice when I'm going through some sort of spiritual ascension and I'm picking up lots of spirits around me, there's extraterrestrial energies around me too, which means they're around all of us. But it's nothing to fear, because when we bring in fear energy, we bring in fearful things, but they're doing their thing. But I noticed that my identity is changing, so yours will be too, because that's why you're here following me, listening to this, and it's not in a bad way, but it's coming back to who we really are before all the stuff happened, like that, the memories of everything. So, question for you, who is your natural self now? I was talking to my best friend about it. We just really have to say what we mean, because other people just don't understand if we are trying to dance around things. There was movement last week, massive emotional, massive physical for me. That new moon on the 11th. Now, I'm not someone that sits here and plans out all the well-known things and terminologies to talk to you about. Whatever comes out of my mouth naturally is what I know is the right thing that I need to discuss with you. How I didn't talk about the new moon on the 11th was, it was a portal. And now I realize why I gave you the angel meditation, because the 111 are angel numbers. And this is why we're all going through such a massive shift, because we went through that portal to step into our authentic power by expressing ourselves in what we're doing, which is going to lead us to more joy. Because I was thinking, oh gosh, I really need to come out at the tail end of this, because I've got a lot of people to help, a lot of people flying in to see me. But I know that this is for you. It's not just for me. It's whatever spiritual ascension I go through is because my purpose is to serve you. One of my greatest career purpose is to serve you. So what happened for you last week? What did you have to naturally move with? As we progressed during the week, the sacred card came up with the angel wings, and that was just before the new moon. And this is what I said. Nature has naturally occurring sacred cycles in which we can observe and learn from. Sacred geometry, sacred phases, and repeating events that connect us with earth, nature, and to people. The sacred cycle is in our ability to see how experiences in our lives have come in to restore balance. So I am quite a balanced person by nature, but because I'm so sensitive and picking things up from people, it gets stuck in there, and I forget what to what's mine and what's other people's. And so this is why this homeopathic remedy has just gone, hang on, Gaia, this is you. This is all you. So everything is sacred if we choose to view it that way. And we want to live lives that are meaningful with deep connections, deep connection to earth, deep connection to spirit. And that means seeing and keeping the things and people you can view in that sacred light. Having that connection with our angels, our relationships. Sacred memories are wanting to be created on all levels. So how is what is unfolding for you sacred? And, like I said, there was lots of things happening with my family. There was big closures, huge closures, things happening that have been in our lives for years, like older than me, closing, and my sister had a birthday and all kinds of things, birth and death and rebirth, all of that was happening. But they're all sacred, massive memories, because those of you who are seeing me this week as clients, I've upgraded. So you're going to be having big shifts, those of you who are seeing me next. And I'll always let you know when I've had an upgrade. The last time was the big meltdown I had before the solstice portal, where I had to take time off because I was having all this heart recalibration going on. Your extended meaning of the Monday mantra. Your true nature comes out when you allow yourself to connect and unfold with nature. So listen to that again. Your true nature, excuse me, comes out when you allow yourself to connect and unfold with nature. Your true nature comes out when you allow yourself to connect and unfold with nature. Our true nature is who we were before we decided to suppress ourselves by trying to please people, fit in, or force timelines due to fear. Our true nature is who we were before we decided to suppress ourselves by trying to please people, fit in, or force timelines due to fear. I've repeated that a lot today because I needed to hear that also, but you did too. Because when we just go with the flow of things, now this does not mean that we're not doing anything. We can't just sit there and go, everything's going to come to me. It's like we do things and then let it go. And our true nature is sometimes suppressed because of things that have happened. We're too scared to be ourselves. We've tried to please people because we want to fit in, and not if I wanted to fit in, I wouldn't be doing my job. I would be back in marketing that I was doing 10 years ago. And and we start to force timelines. I find it fascinating when Kieran gets in touch with me and says, there's some people that just email her all the time wanting to know when and how and what. And that tells us a lot about that person's personality. She doesn't really tell me who, but she'll be like, this person wants to know this. And I'm like, just relax, because you'll get your answer soon enough. So that's, again, putting pressure on nature. This is what I did last week, and I did this so well. I was very, very proud of myself. Everything that happened, I just accepted. I accepted the change in my schedule. I accepted the sickness. I accepted delays that was happening. I accepted everything, and it was just so easy to move through the week because that was just the natural flow of it. I wasn't resisting things, and that in itself was bringing me back to my true nature. Patience, flow. Things had stopped me in my tracks, but I accepted whatever came up and moved with the natural course of things. I started to see myself again. What has brought you back to your true nature? Was it an argument? Was it a trigger? Was it a closure? Was it illness? Was it travel? What was it for you? A lot of things to think about there. So remember, I am always here for you. But please remember, I know that there's a lot of people waiting, and regular clients, I haven't forgotten you. I haven't forgotten you at all. But my job is to see as many people, because if Spirit wants me to touch as many people, otherwise they wouldn't bring me this many people to see. So if you need to be waitlisted, please email Kieran for whatever way I haven't increased my workload. I'm still seeing the same amount of people. So this means that I have to see how I feel. I have to make sure that I'm okay before I can give. But I will slot things in more at last minute type of situations this year so that I give myself the adequate recovery time. But remember, personalized meditations, mini readings, those are ways that you can heal yourself and be receiving the guidance that you need, if you need any, while you're waiting for sessions. And I'm really going to be focusing on clients who really understand what I do, because I've said this before. Those who come to me at home for a soul ceremony, I notice that they are very, very focused on me. They let me just do what I need to do. They're not distracted. And that has got to do with how much they're spending, how far they've traveled. And this is just the natural course of people putting value on things that are different that they're investing in, rather than taking me for granted. And this is part of something that I've been thinking about, which I'm going to be honest with you. I do feel like we're moving away from people who are not valuing us, people who don't appreciate us, people who have taken us for granted, because our true nature knows we are worthy. Our true nature knows we are worthy. So that is something for you to really think about. So remember, if you need to renew your app, it is only $60 per year to be on this platform. And let me tell you, I do not make any money from this app at this stage, because the investment to get it to this point and speeding things up, every time a subscription comes in, it goes towards app development. So if you're needing to renew, you can gift app subscriptions to people, or you're having any IT issues, we're not mind readers, so please let us know. Kieran is the person to ask for all of this, and just know that she gets a huge number of emails, but she will always respond when it's something that she can do for you right there and then. soul33@gmail.com. Okay, moving into this week's Monday mantra. I am courageous in who I am, and I live with freedom. I am courageous in who I am, and I live with freedom. So our identities are changing, and authentic power is beginning to look different to each of us. So this is why I said to you, I'm going through this big shift. You will be too, in your own way. Sometimes we need to realize how standing strong in our boundaries and ourselves is very important to be authentically who we are. We may find ourselves bending our rules only to realize why we had them in the first place. This was a prime example of me last week, not adhering to certain rules that I put in place, and then getting bitten in the bum going. And then I went back to here, right, we just need to stick to our rules, because clearly that's what Spirit's telling us to do from the situation. And they're not rules to control, they're rules in order to stand up for my worthiness and my time and all of those things. We may find ourselves, and I'm going to repeat this again, bending our rules only to realize why we had them in the first place. So this means that there are new realizations that you have had over the past few weeks, and you will use this to expand and progress this week. So if you find yourself going, why did I do that? What is it that I actually wanted? That is because you're being asked to look at things from a more expansive and progressive perspective. It's about potential, and it's about possibility. We want to move beyond merely existing. Now, you will see glimpses into how the rest of the year will unfold for you this week. Yep, you will. So really pay attention to that. So you will see glimpses into how the rest of the year will unfold for you this week, and this is going to give you foresight. And save this foresight in your arsenal for pulling it out when you recognize a similar pattern unfolding. So we're not going to know what this means until we get to the end of the week and we're all doing our recap together. But you're going to be seeing something in your week and you're going to save it in your arsenal because you're going to use that again, because we know how life works. There are cycles, triggers, patterns, all of that, all of them which we are viewing as sacred because they're all for our healing, for our progression, all of that. And you're going to pull that out again. It's like, they're showing me, no, I don't watch sport, sorry for the sports lovers out there, but you know how they have the red card and the green card? It's like you're going to have those different cards, like red card, I'm red carding this, I'm out, done, that's in my arsenal. I'm whatever, yellow card, it's that they're showing me. Spirit says we don't want to live with the regret or disappointment. So what must you do now to make sure we don't have regret or disappointment? Spirit's telling me now this is also about our communication. So I have to be really careful with our communication, because remember, words, I am strong, very, very strong. I'm brave, but I can be very sensitive to, if we get negative feedback from people who don't know me, or, even sometimes thinking about the publicity, what publicity brings. Publicity brings all the amazing people who see my light, but not everyone's going to understand. They're going to think I'm the devil, or they're going to think I'm whatever. And so we have to be mindful of our words and what we tell people, because everyone's human being, and everyone's a human being that is here, unless we've got kitty cats and puppies that are listening to, who are amazing healers. But you understand what I'm saying. Words are really powerful. So just be very careful with not regretting or disappointing yourself or disappointing anybody else. But we can't live for other people, and we must live for ourselves. So Spirit says we don't want to live with regret or disappointment. So what must we do now? We can't live for other people. We must live for ourselves. Your freedom and challenging your own status quo will be required in order for you to love every part of yourself in life. Allow your life to be a full spectrum of color rather than muted tones. I even felt like everything was kind of muted as I was going through this rebalancing last week. But come today, I am seeing things more vibrant and me changing as I'm talking to you now. New ideas and new options will be presenting themselves to you. Are you going to take them? So we've got a lot to think about for this Monday mantra. And remember, we're all going through this together. I'm slightly a little bit ahead. That's why Spirit, God, whoever, universe has given me this job. But I am also learning. I learn from you. I learn from Spirit. I'm so excited to see my clients this week. So I've got lots flying in from different places, because I will surely have some interesting stories for you next Monday as I record the Monday mantra. But remember, I'm here for you. Thank you for being part of this app. Please don't forget to email Kieran if you need help, to be on a wait list, to, receive some guidance through a mini reading, personalized meditations. I love doing those for you. Kieran is at soul33@gmail.com. Your Monday mantra is, I'm courageous in who I am and I live with freedom. So we're going to take a couple of minutes now. Just close your eyes and take a few deep breaths, and they're showing me your root chakra. So at the base of your spine, I am sending a activation here to ground you, to feel rooted in who you are, to feel strong and courageous in taking on this week, wanting to gain freedom for yourself. Freedom in whatever way that means, okay? Freedom with how you communicate, freedom to not have fear in what you want to do. And knowing that this root chakra recalibration and activation going on now that I can feel in my root is going to help you find that freedom. Now, if those of you who are having tummy upsets at the moment, Spirit's just telling me that there might be a little bit of that this week, but it's because, again, digesting this new authentic power that you are stepping up into. Have a wonderful week, and don't forget to do your homework and the shapeshifter that I've mentioned today, and I will be in touch with your new Monday mantra next